Welcome into the CHGO Blackhawks post-game podcast. I'm Jay Zawaski with Mario Tirabassi. Greg Boysen is at the United Center and will join us shortly after the Hawks 4-2 loss to the Tampa Bay Lightning. Thanks for being with us. We appreciate that. Make sure you smash the like button for us. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube page as well. Podcast listeners, 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, please. And make sure you are following or subscribed on your favorite podcast app. As we do every game, we'll have you vote on the 4-star of the game. You can start doing that now. We'll set that up here in a second. But, buddy, that was just the story of a team that is a cup roster versus a team that is rebuilding.
Yeah. I mean, that was a game where, Corey Perry ties it early in the third, and you feel good about yourself. You feel like, hey, you know what? We're back in this one.
Yeah.
Tie the game, early in the third period. You get a little bit of new life. And then it was just, the Lightning, a team that is been there, done that, seen it all in the last couple of seasons, just knowing how to take control of a game.
Yep.
And knowing that they could do it, having the talent to be able to do it. And they get the lead off the very beneficial bounce to Victor Hedman for the 3-2 goal, and then they did something that not a lot of teams do when they get a late lead. They floored it. They didn't take their foot off the gas. They pressed harder, and the Blackhawks had no chance to muster any kind of response after the 3-2 goal. And you know what? Sometimes you need a tough love lesson of how to play with a lead, and sometimes it happens against you. And I think that's probably, hopefully, the takeaway that the Blackhawks have from this game is that they got a front row seat to how to play with a lead. And if and when they get that opportunity again, hopefully they emulate what happened, or try to at least emulate what happened to them tonight.
Yeah, 2 shots on goal from the Hawks in the third, and
one of them was the goal.
One's a goal, and it was almost, Dickinson and Perry were laughing about the goal because it was so, it just happened to just roll right to Corey Perry's
it was a good play.
Sure, yeah, it was a nice play.
It was a nice play by Dickinson to redirect the puck right to Perry, who was just standing there, was just like, oh, I thought I was out of the play. Here's the puck on my stick, and I put it in the back of the net. Sometimes you're going to get goals like that. And Perry is a guy who, he can't move like he used to, but he still knows where to be. And at the, age of 37 or 38, however old he is, knows how to be able to get there as a guy in his 19th season. So he's the beneficiary of being able to set up that play and be in the right position. But yeah, it almost felt like an entire period of hockey went by before that second shot on goal came. It was with a minute and 20 seconds left or something like that, and it was just like, oh, that's right, they did have another shot on goal this game.
Yeah, it was basically. I know Greg likes to use the gif of from Spaceballs where Lone Star's got his hand on Dark Helmet's helmet, and he's just flailing wildly. It very much had that feel for a lot of this game.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Just so let's recap the scoring real quick, recap what happened. So important to note, Lukas Reichel got the Hawks on the board first with a 1-0 power play goal, 12:59 into the first. That power play was a result of a Sergachev board on Philip Kurashev, and the first Hawk in the scrum was Connor Bedard, and he did not hesitate. He saw that hit, went right into the corner, pushed Sergachev, kind of flicked him away. He's much bigger.
It's there's a size difference, but
the effort was there. The effort was there from Bedard to be the guy who went in to disrupt the play.
And what was good was Kurashev didn't miss a shift,
right?
Because it looked like it could have been a lot worse than it ended up being. So
it was an ugly hit. Yeah, it just it was one of those. Ugh. kind of things.
Cringe a little bit.
Not great. So the power play ensues. Hawks get possession. Kurashev with a point shot. Reichel redirects it perfectly.
Great play.
And it's 1-0. And I wrote about this for Blackhawks Beat today. It was a big topic of our show yesterday. Luke Richardson knew he had to get Lukas Reichel going somehow. Mm-hmm. He had to get him on the board. And look, he said all year and reiterated it yesterday that overall he's happy with the way Reichel has played, but he has to score. He flat out said it. I have the quote right here. He says at some point here, he's playing really well, really responsibly defensively. Unfortunately for a guy like that, at some point you have to produce. We're just trying to be encouraging for him because that's all we can do right now. Yeah. So you give him the opportunity, put him back at center, put him on power play 1, and you get your result. So that's great. Hawks are up 1-0. Second period, the Wyatt Kaiser takes his second penalty of the game, putting the puck over the glass to lay a game. Braden Point scores a goal. They review it. It looks offsides. So all of us in the arena. So just so you guys know, the way we see it we're in the front row of the press box. Obviously, we're watching the game like everybody else in the stadium, but there's a series of TVs over our head that we can look up and take a look at the replay. They're not big, but they're up there. And I think the entire beat looked up and looked down to type, that goal will not stand.
That's exactly what I did.
But we have the rule, and if you watch the replay and read the rule, technically it was not offside. And this is the problem, and you know how I hate the offside review. Mm-hmm. I hate it. I effing hate it. All it does is confuse people. If it needs to be reviewed, it's ticky-tack enough where it didn't really impact the play. But the puck carrier takes the puck and has control, but tries to he advances the puck to himself, right? He's just advancing it through, and his skates go over before he regains control of the puck. Control's the wrong word. He did have control. He makes contact again with the puck after he crosses the line. So I could see why it looked offside, but when you watch the replay, he does have control, pushes the puck forward to himself because he's generating speed through the zone, and regains it after he crosses the line. But he never did. He lost contact with the puck, but he didn't lose control of the puck.
Yeah.
It's tough. It's why I hate the replay. I hate it.
I mean, if they hadn't challenged and it wasn't, again, it feels again like it's the Bedard goal from Boston. It's just like that little bit would it have made a difference one way or the other? Obviously not. A goal was scored on both of those plays. One replay upheld it. One replay denied it. So. If you're gonna split hairs that fine, it's the bed that the NHL is gonna have to lie in with their rules, their replay system, how they enforce things, whether it's offsides, goalie interference. There's just so much confusion there that it's just one of those. It's one of those dumb things that you have to live with as a hockey fan. It's just like, oh yeah, replay and challenges. It's a crapshoot.
Yeah, it's real annoying. About 4 minutes later, Sergachev takes a shot from the left point area, and it just kind of found its way past Petr Mrazek, kind of a seeing eye shot, definitely screened. Then 11 seconds later, Connor Murphy lays a big hit on Tanner Jeannot. Tyler Mott, sorry, thank you. 84-64, that was my confusion. Yeah. And him and Michael Eyssimont drop the gloves. Murphy kind of hands him his lunch.
Yeah.
Eyssimont gets the extra roughing penalty, but the Hawks aren't able to do anything with it.
And it was a rough ride on the hit to Mott, but it was clean. Like it wasn't like he didn't elbow him, didn't hit him in the head, nothing. It was just like
body check.
Very rough body check. And two Lightning players went over to Connor Murphy to get in his face, and Eyssimont was the one that stuck around to eat his fists.
Delicious.
But man, I mean, Connor Murphy, I had people complaining to me about Connor Murphy today. I was just like, I don't get it. What is wrong with what he does?
Yeah.
I don't, he's not
He's
overpaid.
a middle pair defenseman. He's paid like one.
He's a leader.
He's
a second pair defenseman who can stay at home defensively, does a lot of things that, you need a guy that can play on the penalty kill, can play physical, can, stick up for teammates, can be a leader in the locker room, like a good character person on your team. Like, you do a lot worse for $4.5 million on defense. So I don't know why people don't like Connor Murphy.
No, it's weird, and we can get into that and kind of just the takes on this game in general in a little bit. But just to recap the scoring again, 2:09 into the third, Corey Perry taps it in. We talked about that goal. 11:52, Victor Hedman takes a shot that comes right off the backboards, right onto his stick, and he puts it up, puts it in. 3-2 Tampa, and then the empty netter by Brandon Hagel with 49 seconds left to go in the game. And that was that. So the 3 stars of the game: number 3, Mikhail Sergachev; number 2, Braden Point; number 1, Victor Hedman, which brings us to our candidates for the 4-star of the game. We've got Corey Perry, who had a goal, 12:50 of ice time, and 3 shots on goal. Petr Mrazek stopped 26 of 29 Tampa Bay shots. And Lukas Reichel with his first goal of the year, 2 other shots on goal, 18:28 of ice time. Not great at the faceoff circle, 1-3 and lost 8, but I think overall his game was fine. So get your votes in, and we'll reveal the winner at the end of the day. So, yeah, I think you saw something before we even went on, seeing it a little bit of it in the chat and people really upset with the effort. This is a talent gap. And I know Tampa's been playing poorly. They got shut out in their last 2 games. They've not looked like the same team.
They were a team coming out with a purpose today.
Yes. You knew that you were going to get everything Tampa had in this game. And look, for the fact that you were into the third period with them tied, despite being pretty heavily outplayed, I think huge credit to Mrazek, and B, I really liked the overall effort of the team. Like, they were engaged, they were physical, they just never had the puck.
Yeah. Yeah, when you're playing defense for what felt like 85% of the third period, you could say, oh, well, I didn't like the effort. Well, the effort is trying to play defense. This game could have been 6-2.
Easy.
The way the third period was going. So, I mean, Mrazek played a big part of that. I mean, it was just the Lightning came in with a game plan. They had lost 3 straight. Hadn't scored since the last time they played the Blackhawks. Like, this was a team that was looking to not be on the downslide this early in the season, and be in a situation where you're trying to fight your way back into a playoff spot. Tampa Bay is a team that is trying to hold the fort until Vasilevsky comes back and can make an impact.
And he's close.
But yeah, I mean, it's just sometimes and for the most part this year, the Blackhawks are not going to be the better team when they step on the ice. So sometimes you can overcome that. Sometimes it's just you get hemmed in, and it's hard to get out of it. And Tampa, their game plan tonight to stop the Blackhawks was 2 people on Connor Bedard, and if Nick Foligno or Ryan Donato beat us tonight, so be it. Hats off to you, but we're not letting Bedard do his thing.
Right.
And they executed that well.
Definitely. And look, that shows you how important Taylor Hall is to this roster, because it just gives you another legitimate threat that every time Taylor Hall touches the puck, he's a threat to do something with it.
Or that Reichel has to be going.
Yes. And again, he played pretty well, but I just don't know, look, it is you get clowned in a game like this because they're playing keep away with you. Mm-hmm. And they know they can. The Hawks, they don't have a ton of speed. Right? Even the better players on this roster, there was a point in the game where Nick Foligno almost had a 2-on-1 breakaway, shorthanded, and he was pumping his legs and he wasn't going anywhere.
Didn't have it. Yeah.
They're just him and Perry. They're not fast. Donato, he tries, right? He tried to make some things happen. I thought Mackenzie Entwistle played his freaking ass off tonight. Mm-hmm. You got Connor Murphy dropping the gloves. You got Connor Bedard going into corners and roughing guys up for checking Philip Kurashev. Mm-hmm. To me, it was not an effort thing. If it's an effort thing, we call it out.
Yeah.
I was livid after the Montreal game. There's been other games where what the F was that?
If they had been getting, if they were getting hemmed in their own zone and then getting pushed around on top of it, then I'd come out here and say, what was that effort? But that wasn't the case. They were hemmed in, but you had a number of different scrums where, when you're getting outplayed like that, you have to try and do something to try and like turn the tides. And if it means grabbing Steven Stamkos and putting him in a headlock for no reason, well, sometimes you have to do that. So hopefully,
not much else you can do.
Yeah, hopefully when Stamkos is a Blackhawk, him and Connor Murphy can be, kumbaya after that. But yeah, I mean, sometimes you just have to get engaged in the game physically to try and turn some tides. And you can do that. You can try it. And if it just doesn't give you that boost of trying to swing momentum back, there's only so much you can do, and there's only so much this team can do, especially when they're missing a guy like Taylor Hall who has that impact, can be another offensive generating option that teams have to worry about. Because coming into this game, Tampa Bay should not have been worried about Lukas Reichel the way he had been playing. Kershaw's been playing well, but I mean, he's not an established threat. You got Connor Bedard, and I don't know what else you have to worry about besides that if you're the Tampa Bay Lightning looking at this team.
Yeah, agree with that. Greg's going to join us here in a moment, but I just want to say one thing too, to make another sports analogy. When your team is getting dominated by a pitcher, it can be tempting as a fan to be like, these guys are not playing with any heart. These hitters don't want to be. You're just getting outclassed. Mm-hmm. It just happens. It just happens in sports sometimes. And look, I look at this game and I look at the way the Hawks played and the effort they put forth, and to me, it's not a story of effort. I really don't think it is. No. I mean, I don't know. We're going to hear from Greg here in a second. I know he was there with Luke Richardson. I think he sent the Luke Richardson video in, so we'll see if we can get that ready in time. But we got to take our first break before we bring Greg in, and Mario is going to tell you how to get swole.
Yeah, I mean, if you're looking to put in a good effort, no better place to do it to get yourself feeling good and looking good and feeling good, because that's important, is the Midtown Athletic Club. You can do it at any of their 4 Chicagoland locations in Palatine, Bannockburn, Willowbrook, and the Midtown Athletic Club and Hotel located in the middle of Bucktown and Lincoln Park. The Palatine location has gone through a multi-million-dollar transformation that looks to be fully completed in early 2024. It's mostly completed right now, but fully completed in 2024. So if you're looking to get out there to the Palatine location, it is open. I know that New Year's resolutions can always involve physical health, mental health, and Midtown Athletic Club is a good location to do that and do it year-round. They have a little bit of something for everybody at the club for people looking to get into different classes. They have hundreds of classes available: spin classes, boxing, yoga, CrossFit, all those different things. You can get involved in that at any of the Midtown Athletic Club locations. Great for families who have kids. They have childcare programs there. So if you got a little kid like myself, 2-year-old, can't get her on the weight machines just yet.
Come on.
So
step it up.
So they have childcare there, so you can get your workout in, your child to be taken care of, entertained. If they're older kids, they got kids programs there for them to be active and everything. So everyone will get what they need. They also have a restaurant. Most locations have restaurants there, and I heard the fried chicken sandwich is a favorite at the restaurant.
So my attention.
Definitely, a day at the gym could be going to the Midtown Athletic Club, having a fried chicken sandwich, and then sitting in the sauna for about 20 minutes, and that's your day at the gym. Head over to midtown.com/CHGO to find out more about the location nearest to you and to tour the Midtown Athletic Club that is nearest to you.
All right, do that and then undo it with bacon, with bacon from our buddy Charlie, the bacon guy, based out of Woodridge.
It's part of a good protein-based diet. Yeah. is bacon.
Charlie's based out of Woodridge, and he makes craft bacon. Mm-hmm. You didn't know that was a thing? Yes, it is. Mm-hmm. And bacon jams in over 30 different flavors. The bacon and bacon jams are all naturally cured, fancy, preservative-free. There aren't any ingredients that Charlie can't pronounce himself involved in the process, unlike most store-bought bacon. It's vacuum sealed and freezes great. It lasts in the package up to 45 days in the fridge and 6 months in the freezer, and about 60 days in the fridge for the bacon jam, but it will not last that long in your house.
60 minutes.
Some of the flavors he offers, maple pepper, Nashville hot, Old Bay, Cajun, six pepper, rosemary, the Malort bacon he makes, bacon jams. You got the original, the bourbon, the spicy, and he works on all sorts of different kinds of bacon jams as well. Go great on burgers, on eggs, anything you want. Just grab a spoon and eat that bacon jam. And check out his new website at charliethebaconguy.com.
Official.
Where you can find all your bacon needs. He will deliver to you, meet you halfway, or even ship it. He makes the bacon so you can bring it home. Here's the deal. CharlieTheBaconGuy.com is awesome, and it looks great. And what's really cool is he has like a bacon archive.
Yes.
So everything he's ever made is in there. So if he has his currently available flavors, then you go into the bacon archive, and if there's something in there you want, if you order enough of it, he'll make you a batch of it.
There was a maple espresso bacon that caught my attention.
Yes, there's that. One of my favorite is the jalapeno garlic is awesome. The ranch is awesome. So you order enough of any of these flavors from Charlie, and he'll get it for you. Just make sure you order enough of it. And I always say this, like, this makes a really good gift for the holidays. You freeze it up for a month here, and then as Christmas comes, you take it out, put it in a cooler, wrap up the cooler. Everybody in your family gets Kraft bacon.
Spoiler alert to my family and friends. Bacon is on the way.
Yeah, it's great stuff. Go to charliethebaconguy.com to place your order. Give that website some traffic. It is brand new, so let's get some orders in for Charlie. And why don't we bring in our buddy, our pal? He's there at the United Center. It is the very handsome Greg Boysen. Hey, Greg.
Hi.
He's got his fancy mic this time.
Yes, I'm tired of hearing that nobody can hear me. So
it sounds great, by the way.
Sounds wonderful.
All right, see, there you go.
Greg, did
Thanks
you talk
for the,
to
flattering intro? I appreciate that.
Did you talk to Luke Richardson, or are you making this up?
No, he was there. He had some things, and
wonderful.
He talked, and not a happy guy, as you can understand. The theme of the night was you can't beat anybody if you don't have the damn puck.
Correct.
That is true.
And it seemed for about 58 minutes the Blackhawks didn't have the puck tonight, especially after the first period. Even that first period, the Blackhawks only had one shot on goal before they got that power play, which they scored on. The second period was a little better, but I think they had 3 third-period shots total.
I think 2 officially.
2?
2 or 3.
2.
Not a lot. But, again, they did not have the puck. What Luke Richardson said about Lukas Reichel scoring, he said he kind of wanted him to be shooting the puck all night long after finally getting that first one, but you got to have the puck to do that. So he couldn't do that. And a little funny side note, Lukas Reichel said that he didn't even know he scored the goal. He thought Corey Perry knocked it in from the side of the net. So, you get your first goal in 14 games, and it took him a few seconds to realize it was his. But good for him. He was happy about it, but not happy with the way the team played.
Well, should we listen to Luke first and then get back to you? What do you suggest? You heard it. Is it worth playing the whole thing?
It was some good stuff in there. He touched on the power play. He touched on the puck possession, playing a team like Tampa. And then talked about the team depth. The most handsome guy in the room asked him about the bottom 6, and he gave a good answer. He'll stare directly. He'll stare directly into the camera. That might tip you off on who asked the question.
All right,
Wonderful.
Fair enough. We ready to go, Steven?
Yeah, I literally just got that.
That was amazing.
Perfect.
I'm watching the sweat drip from his forehead.
I mean,
all right, fire it up. Here's Luke Richardson, courtesy of Greg.
Some games where there's been too much defending is tonight another example of that, especially in the third?
Yeah, the second half of the game for sure. I thought the first period we had an excellent period and start, played fast and played behind them. And then, we didn't have a lot of extended D-zone time. And I think in the second period, I think just it was a little bit, part on our part and part on them probably turning it up. And I think we saw that in the third, especially. I thought they had the puck way too much in our zone. We just couldn't get it back. Or not panic, but we just kind of like threw a puck away out of a pile instead of holding it there for a while with some battle. Or making some better plays. And you know what? It just they're a good team, and I think they played us really well the last half of the game. And unfortunately, you know, we didn't have enough time with the puck to. You know, we had a nice rush on the one goal, but other than that, we really didn't have too much. And you know, also even it would be nice to kind of draw another penalty, and you can't do that without the puck. So, you know, it would be nice to have maybe one more chance on the power play in the third, but we really didn't deserve that.
It seemed like you were staying goal side for the most part. Like the coverage was pretty good, but is there a point when there's at some point in the clock where you have to start being more aggressive to try to win that puck back?
Yeah, I think so, but we had our inside structure, but anytime there was a shot that seemed like they were quicker to the puck and they had an out quicker. So when it goes from low to high, you know, I think it was a combination of not hitting and pinning down low early enough, and they let them do that, and then we weren't quick enough to get out onto the points. So they got a lot of point shots through, which resulted in 2 goals tonight for sure. And that just gets you running around, I think. A little bit of standing watching, you know, sometimes that happens when the other team's kind of spinning around, and you got Point and Kucherov very strong on the puck, and they were finding each other. I think we were just on our heels a little bit, and you know, when you're on your heels, you're never going to get the puck back. So it's a good lesson, you know, from a good team.
On that third goal, is that a rotation by the forward coming down, or is that the defenseman?
You know, I think we actually had it at one point in the corner, and that was one of those ones where I think we got to be comfortable with keep having that puck in the corner in that pile, like a rugby scrum, and not kick it out, because when we kicked it out, then it goes to them, and it went low to high, and then they got a point shot, which ended up the rebound came right back to them, to an open net. And you know what, I think we got to make sure that we're comfortable in those situations and get comfortable with it until you draw them in, and then maybe we kick it back to the weak side and we have a little bit more room to make plays and get it out, or just making sure that we can airmail it like to the far end of the neutral zone to get a change. So we get fresh guys on. I think we got tired, and you get world-class players out there controlling the play. We're not going to fare very well with that.
On that offside challenge, did you think it was a coin flip and worth the gamble, or what did you see?
I just saw him. It wasn't on his stick, so you know, it just depends. That becomes, I guess, an opinion. I mean, I've seen some where if it's not on his stick, he didn't stick handle it. The puck just got to him. His feet got across the line, and you know, his blade is. You know, flat, but there's probably about 2-3 inches of white in between the puck and the stick. So I just thought that I thought we were killing pretty good, even though they just scored one on that. I thought, and it, you know, worked out that we killed the second one. But you know, against a team like this, you know, I mean, it is a bit of a flip of the coin. You never know, because it depends on what someone considers. You know, full control to control. It's a really tough one, but we just thought we'd go with it tonight, and we did get the second kill, so it really didn't change that part of the game.
Was it good to see Lucas get on the board with the change up to the top power play unit?
Yeah, I thought he was in a good spot there. He had some good speed on the rushes, but you know, I still want him to shoot the puck more. He had a chance in the second period. He passed it off, and he's just gotta get that out of himself and take charge and shoot those. Good things will happen tonight when he got one early. I think, you know, he should have been shooting that puck all night. But you know, that's definitely the first step, and that's a good sign.
Did you notice a jump on him in the shifts after the goal?
I think so. I think just you know, I think he's been playing hard all year. You know, I think last game before tonight was probably the game that he had the puck the least and created probably the least, but in overall chances. But he's been skating well, and his defensive responsibilities have been pretty good. He's just got to take charge on the offense a little more and shoot pucks and use his skill set there. But you know what I mean? I think he seemed to look like he was obviously not relieved, but you know, excited, and you know, you could see it in his game.
What do you think of Isaac Phillips?
I thought he was very strong tonight. I thought he was aggressive. I think not just in front of the net and in scrums and that, but I thought his play had a good gap. Shot the puck really nice once in the first period, I think off a face-off, which we have asked our D to start to do. And even in the neutral zone, he had a good gap, and he would go right across when we had a good back checker there. And I thought he was very aggressive all night. So that was a really good sign. I think he kept it simple in his skill set and very aggressive. So that's good.
It seemed like some of the best offensive shifts came from that bottom six. How big is that, especially with Hall and Athanasiou out of the lineup?
Yeah, I think for some reason after the first period, it looked like we didn't have a lot of jump in our legs, and I think part of that was maybe we don't have the puck enough, but I think we have to learn to shorten our shifts then and to get on our horse a little bit, and it doesn't matter if you're supposedly the top line or the fourth line, and I think our third and fourth lines tonight, they skated and they gave us some energy, and we got the one goal in the third period from them, so I was happy with that. But you know what, we don't have a whole lot of depth in our organization yet. I think it's obviously better than last year at the end of the year, and it's starting to grow. So that shows signs that we can throw different people in different times, and usually it goes in on the bottom and it gets pushed upwards. So that's a good sign. I think we're going to be reliable on the bottom six, and that's hard to do in this league. So we were happy with them tonight.
Corey Perry got another goal tonight. How important has he been, not only just for the locker room, but just on the ice as well?
Yeah, no, he had a good chance in the second period with the wraparound that we almost got a rebound off of as well. He continues to add offense, and he's not the fastest guy in the world. He probably never claims to be, but he's a really good player. He's hard on his stick, and he's competitive, and that just becomes infectious around the dressing room. But it's still showing up on the score sheet, like you said. So, I think you're going to have to kick him out of the league. I don't think he'll ever leave willingly, so he's not ready to go yet.
Thank you, Luke.
Thank you.
Thank you, Luke.
Thank you, Luke.
Thanks, Greg. Good stuff.
Yes. John Steinmiller makes his nightly appearance.
Yes, he does. He said it, like third and fourth line generated some energy, but like you said, Greg, you can't win without the puck, and it just felt like all night they were chasing. And as the third period approaches and you've been chasing all night, those legs get tired, you run out of gas, and Tampa just plays keep away.
Yeah, and one of the points Luke made about, Braden Point and Nikita Kucherov just playing off of each other. I mean, that's just what you have when you have a team like the Lightning where, a lot of those core guys have spent 6, 7, 8 seasons or more together, and you just have that chemistry built up. Teams like that, you just know where guys are going to be. And so makes a huge difference between, a team that can contend and have a roster put together for a long time than a Blackhawks team that has got a lot of guys that have not been here a long time or haven't played together for a while.
And even if you look at this is their 14th game of the year, but there's a ton of guys that weren't here last year. You have a lot of rookies that even haven't spent a long time together in Rockford.
Right.
Like Bedard came straight to the NHL. Korchinski came straight to the NHL. Kaiser played a little bit last year, right? It's most of the guys in this team have not been teammates at any level for a long time. And the veterans you brought in, Hall and Foligno played together, but Perry was in Tampa. You got, you're just assembling this team, and it's going to take more than 14 games, especially with so many guys under the age of 25 on the roster. Mm-hmm. It's going to take time, and that I think. Whatever you believe about the Lightning, if you think they're still contenders, I know the record doesn't show they haven't been off to the start that they'd hoped for, but they're still, you look at that roster and they got guys up at the top of the league in scoring, and they're a good team, and the reason they're still effective and the reason they stay in games still is because of that chemistry they all have with each other. Yeah. You see a team play keep away like that for 60 minutes, all those guys are on the same page all the time, all the time.
Yeah, and this is a new roster here for the Hawks, and it's been a tough schedule, not just because of who you're playing, but you've had all these weird one game, two games in 3 days, and you don't play for 5 days, and then it's now we're gonna get a stretch where from between now until Christmas, Blackhawks are essentially playing every other day. So that should help build some of this team chemistry.
29 nights, something like that.
Yeah, they can't really get a rhythm
which is good
with this. Yeah, it's
and this is a Tampa Bay team that has still got a lot of the DNA that won them back-to-back Stanley Cups and 3 straight Eastern Conference championships. This is a Tampa Bay team that was pissed off coming in here because they lost to the Blackhawks on home ice a week ago. and then hadn't scored a goal since. They got shut out in their last 2 games. I mean, this is a team that looked like they took all of that personally and took their aggression out on the Blackhawks tonight. Talked to John Cooper, Tampa Bay head coach, before the game, and he was asked about Connor Bedard, and in typical John Cooper fashion said, well, I didn't see much of him playing because every time I looked up, he was at center ice taking a faceoff because he just scored on us. And he said, a player like that, you cannot give time and space and expect to win. So tonight, we're not going to give him time and space, and they didn't.
Right. Paul T in the chat says, you want the puck, don't let them play keep away. Cover the points and play physical down low. So they have the puck at the point.
Oh.
You have a forward collapse to the point. They pass it right past you to the guy along the boards or the guy in front of they had the puck on a string, and you've got again Hall of Famer after Hall of Famer after Hall. We watched the Hawks do this for a decade.
Yeah.
Why couldn't the Minnesota Wild or any of the teams or the Vancouver Canucks? How come they couldn't just cover the points and play physical down low and beat them? It doesn't work that way.
When you have a
talent matters.
Team, you have a talented team that is buzzing on any given night, you're going to have results like that.
And some of the young defensemen tonight got exposed as young defensemen. Wyatt Kaiser had not a great game at all. 6 minutes in the penalty box. One of them was a delay of game penalty, which, it's not something you really can get mad at, but just some bad decision making. And, he had the lowest game score out of any player tonight, and it wasn't a surprise to see that. But there were a few plays in the third period, and it's probably because, as you said, you're chasing the whole night. His legs are tired. Alex Vlasic got walked a couple of times in this game. Braden Point blew right by him. Brendan Hagel pretty much used one arm to get around him and create a scoring chance. So these guys, they've been playing great for much of the year, and we've been impressed by these young defensemen. But tonight you had 4 essentially rookie defensemen in the lineup, and a veteran team like Tampa Bay knows how to exploit that. Again, they were looking for revenge. They were embarrassed on their home ice by the Blackhawks a week ago.
Vlasic plays 22:01. Actually finished a +1, which is hilarious. Played 22:01. Much of that chasing, and you got a big guy with long legs, inexperience. Like over time, it's going to catch up to him in the course of a game. And look, like we said, like the Lightning, they've got speed, they've got size. They are built to win a Stanley Cup. Are they going to do it this year? Probably not. But that roster is still up there at the top echelon of the league, and they're going to have nights where they just clown people. And
experience matters in this league. And when you got a team like Tampa versus a team like the Blackhawks, and the Blackhawks beat them last week, but these two teams play 10 games in a row. We're probably going to see this outcome more, probably 7 of the 10 nights, as opposed to what we saw in game 1. It's just a good team. Yes, the record isn't as good as what we're used to, but they know how to win games. And this game reminded me a lot of watching the 2010-2013 Blackhawks, where they just got on the ice and said, you're not winning tonight. We're just going to keep the puck all night long. Like that scene in Spaceballs where he holds a Dark Helmet's helmet.
I literally referenced that to start the show.
Well, so that's what it was tonight. So, great minds.
Old minds.
Yeah,
that's for sure. That's for sure. Want to rifle through some super chats? We got a bunch here we got to get to. I don't want to lose track of them as we're going here. Got one here from GMav, who says freaking Steve Levy needs to stop calling Chicago games. Yeah, I like Steve Levy because he's one of the few people at ESPN that really champions hockey, but it sounded like he had not really been keeping up with what the Hawks are doing. He was like acting surprised by how outmatched the Hawks were. That's a rebuild.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like.
Right.
I hear he also waxed poetically about Tyson Bagent or wanting to be the starter for the Bears too.
Can't
that
confirm
that. Was
that.
a joke.
Didn't hear that on the broadcast.
That was a bad attempt at it. That was a bad attempt at a joke. Sorry.
I liked it.
Ellen
K says, let's get the super chats going. It's been a long week. Tampa Bay played that third like a bunch of kids playing Hungry Hippos. Big thanks. Thank you, Alan. Cricket says, as Dangle God would say, bring back Kaner. He'd help. And she kicks in her $1. And then another $2 to tell you, Greg, that your hair looks great tonight from Cricket.
Well, thank you.
Nice.
Gaming for Veteran says, can't win games with 15 shots on net. I'm assuming they'll bounce back like usual after a tough loss. Keep up the good work, boys. Thank you. And then Mr. Koala with a $2 chat says, on the bright side, the gauntlet seems to be over. And that's a good point. You've got Nashville, who is currently last place in the Central, on Saturday.
Raise the banner.
Buffalo, who just lost Tage Thompson for a month plus. Columbus on Wednesday.
Columbus, who's benching Patrick Laine and Johnny Gaudreau for half of the third period tonight.
I thought they got rid of John Tortorella and Mike Babcock out there.
Leafs, Blues, Kraken, Red Wings. It is much easier than it's been. So I think, look, well, if we see efforts like this against Nashville and Buffalo and Columbus, yes, red flags, definitely.
Right, yeah.
For sure. And I do worry about, the one little reprieve the Hawks have gotten, air quotes reprieve, is that Arizona game, and they got their asses handed to them. That was horrible. Their worst game of the year. So hopefully that was a lesson learned that they can't just show up on Saturday against Nashville and be like, well, we're going to beat them. Nope, it doesn't work that way. But hopefully that was a lesson learned early in the year.
There are games that should be easier for them, but there's no games where you just step on the ice and you automatically are going to win. Like, you're not that team anymore. You're not that guy.
Yeah. I know Corey Perry spoke. What did he have to say after this one?
Well, I mean, again, he was just kind of echoed what Luke Richardson was saying. With a team like that, you can't let them have possession all night. They got to work harder to get the puck. He was happy for Reichel's goal. He said he could tell the monkey was off the back, and was appreciative of Boris Tkachuk on that goal. I mean, that was a really good play. 2-on-1 comes in the zone. It's Corey Perry and it's Boris Tkachuk, and you're like, uh-oh. And the pass gets broken up, but Corey Perry, being the savvy veteran that he is, passes across to Tkachuk and goes right to the net and stops. And Tkachuk gets the puck back, finds him there, easy tap and goal. I mean, that's the type of plays that Luke Richardson can take to the young kids and go, this is what you do. Don't fly by the net. Get there, stop, put your stick on the ice, and wait for the puck. It was a great play. Unfortunately, that was pretty much the last chance they had of sniffing a goal for the rest of the night. But you could tell he was a little disappointed. Guys like that, and again, a guy playing one of his former teams, but guys like that, ultimate competitors, as Luke Richardson said, the NHL is going to have to kick him out before he retires. So, he's not putting in all the work and wearing 2 knee braces every day in games and practice and going out there and putting his body on the line to lose every night. So you could tell he took it personally, and hopefully that gets a response Saturday against Nashville.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much stock you put into reactions and body language and stuff, but we've seen Connor Bedard snap a stick over a goalpost when the empty netter went in a couple games ago.
Yep.
Nick Foligno slammed his stick against the boards after the empty netter went in tonight. Like, these guys are not just accepting the defeat of we're overmatched. Like, no, like it's a much different mentality, even though most of the results are going to be similar to last year, than last year's team. Last year's team was like, you know what? We're kind of built to tank, aren't we? And the expectation is to lose a lot of games. This season, the mentality is different. Even though a lot of the makeup is the same, the mentality is different. And you want to see that from these guys, especially early in the season. If they were just hanging their heads and another loss, like, you'd have a lot to worry about. And I think hopefully the response on Saturday is going to be a team that took tonight's game and took it personally, and will unload some of that against the Predators and say, we're not going to get waxed in this game. We're going to be the ones to win the possession battle and hem them into their zone and just be able to respond that way.
I just want to see the Hawks carry the puck for a while.
Yeah,
I just want to see what it looks like. And like this schedule has been ridiculous. Wayne Gretzky talked about it the other night on TNT. when he was talking about Connor Bedard and just said, I've never seen a start to a season like this for a team.
Mm-hmm.
Every night they're playing a contender. And yeah, they've had, Arizona in there and they played Montreal, but Montreal's a little better than we thought they were.
So is Arizona.
And so is Arizona, right? Well, I picked them for a playoff spot, just saying. But, it's been a tough game every freaking night for them. So it's hard. Like I'm writing about Reichel for the Hawks hits after the game. I'm like, this game's almost impossible to analyze from a Hawks offensive standpoint because they never had the puck.
Right.
Like, Luke says he wants Reichel to shoot more. Like he said in the postgame, like, that'd be great, but they never have the puck.
Right, yeah.
They never had the puck. So I'm really looking forward to see how they stack up against teams more on their level.
Yeah.
And trust us, I think people who have been with us for a long time know that if they play like if they play like this, it looks like this against Nashville, we're going to give it to them, rightfully so. But I just can't. I can't muster any anger after a game like tonight against this team. I can't.
Nope.
All right, Greg, anything else we should know about before you head out?
No, I think that's about it. I'm just checking my trusty notepad here. I think we covered all the bases. Petr Mrazek, another great night. Was big. Hawks gave up some shorthanded breakaways and then some odd man rushes. Another tough loss for him. But man, he's been a breath of fresh air this year. We saw this in spurts last year, but it seemed like every time you get 2 or 3 games like this in a row, the groin would get a little ouchy again, and he'd be gone for 2 weeks. So, I wouldn't be surprised if Kyle Davidson's already been gotten a few phone calls already, seeing, hey, is that guy available? Because we don't have any goalies, so we'd like yours. I wouldn't be surprised if his name starts popping up in rumors if he gets another 4 or 5 games like this.
That's a spot-on impression by you, Greg, of Ken Holland.
That was good.
That's who I was aiming for, yes. Hey, I don't know what a goalie is. Do you have one you can loan me? Even though I played when I played that position when I was a player, I still have no idea how to identify a goalie.
Now we usually do Who's Your Hawk, but it's a little bit early. I can't wear this for the rest of the show. You just want to do it now, or should we save it for the end of the show?
Let's do it now.
I won. I'm not. I'll wear this through the commercial break. How's that? Can we do that?
Whatever.
All right, I got my second win in a row, and I believe that's a winning streak.
Some may say.
I had Lukas Reichel. I had a feeling after writing about him and talking to him yesterday, I cannot. It just screws up my glasses. I feel like I'm tripping balls right now. Woo. Okay. Boy.
There it is.
You get loopy and
it's beautiful.
I am.
Off balance.
Weird.
At least you're wearing a helmet.
I feel like I feel like I'm tripping. Not that I would know. But yeah, I win. So I got my 4th win of the year. That puts me in second to last.
No, it puts you in. Well, yeah, true.
Also, almost first.
Yeah.
Depends on how you want to look at it.
Middle of the pack as well.
There you go. So, all right. Thanks, Lukas Reichel, for giving me a headache and possibly making me throw up before the show ends.
Wonderful. I thought I had
be the first.
I decided to galaxy brain it and go with Jason Dickinson. Then he got the assist on the Perry goal, and I was feeling pretty good about myself. And
He's the fixer, man.
And then they didn't touch the puck for the next 16 minutes, so that was tough.
Dickinson is the Winston Wolf of the Blackhawks. You put someone struggling, you put him with Dickinson, he gets him going a little bit.
Everybody could use a little big dick energy every once in a while.
You are speaking to the choir, my friend.
Right.
All right, Greg.
I'm going to end it on that
friend.
night because it ain't going to get any better.
All right, we'll talk to you and everybody. We're not leaving yet, but 12:30 pregame on Saturday. We'll see you then, Greg.
See you later, boys.
All right, dude.
More brunch hockey.
That's Greg Boysen. Can you do this read so I can take this off soon?
Sure.
I don't know how I'm going to read.
Well, you're sporting that helmet pretty nicely, but when you shouldn't need a helmet is when you're looking for a brand new car. And if you are in the market for a new vehicle, we have some great news for you. We are on the same team as Ray Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram in Fox Lake. That's up in my neck of the woods. At Ray Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram, you'll always be able to shop one of Chicagoland's largest inventories and find unforgettable savings. And right now, in the present, during the Black Friday sales event at Ray Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram in Fox Lake. 0% financing is now available on select new models all month long. That's right, at Ray CDJR. It's not just a one-day event, it's an all-month-long event. But that's not all. Just for listening to us here at CHGO, you can get a free oil change when you mention CHGO at the service center, or you mention CHGO when you book online at raycdjr/service. My car is due for an oil change, so I think I might hop over there and take advantage of that. If you're in the market for a new vehicle, then you have to check out the team at Ray Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram, because they are the only team we recommend. Visit them today on Route 12 in Fox Lake. For more information, visit Ray CDJR in Fox Lake or raycdjr.com, serving the community since 1963.
Absolutely. Go see them, get that free oil change, and get a car while you're there. Why not? Yeah, and we are supported here at CHGO by our good friends at Goose Island Beer Company, Chicago's beer since 1988. Of course, they've got the Oktoberfest, the Beer Hug, the 312 Wheat Ale, the Full Pocket Pills. That's what the Brewers are drinking, not the Milwaukee Brewers.
No.
They should be crying in their beers.
But hey, at least Ricky Weeks is now a coach there.
Okay.
Ooh, cool.
That'll learn them. But you got the Bull and Goose. You've got the Blackhawks Pale Ale.
Yeah.
If it's from Goose Island, it's good. I shouldn't have to read you all these beers, but I'm going to anyway because it's in the copy. Mm-hmm. Great stuff. Go grab an ultra-fresh brewery-exclusive beer at Goose Island's original brew house on Clybourne in Lincoln Park, or from their tap room on Fulton Street in Westtown. Goose Island Beer Company, Chicago's beer. Go do it. How's the...
You want to laugh?
I do.
The Sharks are beating the Blues 4-0. 15 minutes to go in the second period.
Wow.
Oh, shit. When do we play St. Louis?
Not soon enough.
Soon enough.
It is soon, though.
It has to
November
be.
26th.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
That's
home game.
After Thanksgiving.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. How's the four-star vote going?
Very close.
Is it close?
Do we want to call it, or do we want to keep it
going?
going?
Let's keep it going.
Okay.
How close is it? Give me an update.
Right now, Petr Mrazek is winning 42% of the vote. Lukas Reichel is right behind him with 38%.
Okay.
That's close. That's close.
If you've not voted yet, get those in. And I see a lot of viewers, but not a lot of likes. Smash that like button for us.
Let's get to 100 likes.
Switch over to your burner accounts. Log in there. Come on, we got to get those likes up. That is a really great way and an easy way and a free way to help us out and get us that attention we need here on YouTube. It's a really great way.
We need all the attention
to support
possible.
us. Got a note from Paul T. Says, "Hey CHGO, my little boy Grayson had his 3rd birthday party Saturday and loves the Hawks. If he can get a shout out in the post game, that'd be unbelievable."
Shout out Grayson.
Yeah, Grayson.
Woo!
Happy birthday, my dude.
Go be 3.
Yeah, learn to skate.
Sounds like a lot of fun.
And Paul said he would buy you a Nintendo Switch, so congratulations.
Yes, and if he doesn't, just cry and scream until he does.
Yeah, have a tantrum. So yeah, happy birthday, Grayson. And yeah, and today was cool, by the way, for a Military Appreciation Night. I'm trying to find the name of the guy, and we kind of caught it because we come back during intermission, so we kind of caught the tail end of the story. But a guy who wrote the Blackhawks
in 1967.
Yes, and said, I want to try out for the team. And Tommy Ivan wrote him back and said, cool, come on out. We'll scout you. And before he had the opportunity to do it, shipped off to war and never had the chance to try out for the Blackhawks. So the Hawks had him meet the team today before the game, be on the bench, get fist bumps from everybody almost, and looked like he had a great time.
Yeah.
So
they presented him a Blackhawks jersey with his name on it. I want to say the last name was Fultman?
Swinney? Swanson? Samsonite.
It started with an F. It was like Fultman, something like that. We'll try and get it right. But yeah,
it was didn't tweet it.
It was a really cool story when they presented him the jersey from Kyle Davidson. Like he just got welled up with emotion, and you could see what it meant to him all these years later. Really cool story. And yeah, Blackhawks did a great job tonight with Military Appreciation Night. They had a number of current and former military members that were honored at the game. pregame festivities. They had veteran-owned businesses. It was Veteran Roasters Coffee was in the atrium, and Struggle Beard Bakery. They had some samples out there as well. A ton of bakery pastries and stuff that were had bourbon and whiskey in them and stuff. I tried to go down the line and I couldn't have any of them, but they all sounded really really good. So if you're in the Chicagoland area, look those places up. Just a good job by the Blackhawks. Whenever they have these nights, they do a great job. Yeah, I found it. It's Fultman, his last name. I have to it's on their Instagram, and I have to log in, and it's making me do it via Facebook, which takes forever. Yes, Joe Fultman. Joe Fultman was his name. Yeah, so, really cool story. It is very cool. And something I think that letter was I heard John Hansen doing his dress rehearsal before the game. Something of that letter was lost for 40 years or something like that, and then somehow they found it and brought it to the Blackhawks and everything. It was a really cool story. It is. No one does theme nights like the Hawks. Yeah, they do. They do a fantastic job with those. They really do. And this one's great. And I'm so glad that that these veterans who served got to get that special attention on a night. And instead of just saying, hey, we're going to have a extra loud anthem and we're going to, have camo stuff in the atrium, they really go the extra step and they put that personal touch on it. So really, really awesome work by the Blackhawks, as always. So keep that stuff up. And as the theme nights go on throughout the year, it's still Native American Heritage Month. Mm-hmm. So maybe you'll see some more stuff there. But that's my favorite night of the year. Yeah, they had Native American Heritage Night is my favorite. It's awesome. They had a booth. I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was for the Native American Heritage Month. They had a booth still there too. It's cool stuff. So they got a lot going on. All right, we got some things to do. Are we ready to call this the 4-star? You can call it now.
Yeah, it was 43% of the vote.
All right,
that's enough.
It's Petr Mrazek.
I'm telling you, man, Petr Mrazek keeps winning this award.
I mean, he's having good performances.
We're going to have to rename it here.
I believe he's been a nominee in every game he has started.
Yeah. I mean, when you're playing the way that he has been, and even in losses, keeping the team alive in most of those games, that's more than I think we were expecting from him this season. So makes sense that he's been nominated a lot.
Yep, he's been good. So congrats to Petr Mrazek for winning our 4-star of the game again. Thanks to everybody who voted. Again, we're very close to those 100 likes, so smash that like button for us. And
Mrazek getting a Seiko watch?
Yes. Nice. Greg's handling that because he's the one who lost the game for the Hawks because he tweeted that the Lightning hadn't scored.
Ah, that's true. Blame him.
Yep, Greg's fault. Should we do Connor's Corner?
Yeah, let's do it.
Fire it up. Let's go.
I need the happy music after a loss.
Yeah, we need a minor key version of this for losses. Like a dirge.
Not a bad idea.
It is so happy, though.
It's so happy.
All right, Connor Bedard, no points in this one. He had one shot on goal, but 5 total shot attempts, 19-17 of ice time. And look, the Lightning, like you said, Mario, made the decision to not let Connor Bedard beat them. They shut his ass down. They highlighted it during the game that every time Bedard touched the puck, at least 2 Lightning players would converge on him and say, someone else is going to beat us tonight, not you.
Yeah,
it's good coaching.
It's smart. Yeah, I mean, it's smart game planning. And, I mean, it's like we said, this roster doesn't have enough options yet to where teams are going to be, hard pressed to be able to play that way. They can do it now, but the plan and the blueprint is that next year and the year after it gets harder to do that, and there's going to be more options where if you focus only on Bedard, someone else will be will make your life difficult.
Well, and I mentioned earlier, the impact Taylor Hall has on the team, but say what you want about Athanasiou. right? A wholly imperfect player, but he's a threat with that speed. He is a guy that brings something they don't have a lot of. And that's a guy you got to keep your eye on, because if he gets open in space, he's going to get a breakaway chance. And it's like a coin flip, maybe a little less than a coin flip with him because he can mishandle now and again. But he's still, a 20-goal scorer many times over. So he's a threat too. So as the team gets healthier and as the schedule slows down, they're going to look better. And as you look 2-3 years down the road, when Nazar is here and Moore is here, and even when you look at like somebody like Colton Dock or Paul Ludwinski or those kind of guys who maybe won't be potential game breakers like Nazar or Moore and Bedard, they do bring some speed. They do bring a different thing of what the team doesn't have right now. So it's coming. It's coming. It's coming. It's coming. And this, I saw somebody say it in the chat before that rebuilds are tough and they take forever. And I think when Connor Bedard was drafted, everyone's like, all right, well, it's over. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not over. He makes it a lot more bearable.
It's an accelerant.
Yeah, it was a super chat actually from Q Harlan who says, said it about the Bears, say it about the Blackhawks. Rebuilds are long, annoying processes. That's true. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they're made more tolerable when you can trust in the coaching staff and management. But yeah, the point still is true.
Yeah. And are these all new super chats?
No.
Okay, all right.
No, we didn't
gaming
get
for
to,
veterans. We didn't do that one yet.
$10. Hey,
$10 says, I'm pretty sure everyone would agree that we'd rather be struggling like this at the very start of a rebuild than in the Oilers' position 9-10 years in and struggling like the mess they are. And yeah, like that's the other thing too is the generational talent doesn't guarantee you anything. You still need to build around that generational talent. And you've got Connor McDavid, you got Leon Draisaitl, who's a top, at worst, 5 player in the league, 6 maybe.
Yeah.
Right, like you got 2 of those. You got a $9.5 million defenseman, and here you are struggling because you didn't build the team right.
The stat was, I think I'm remembering this correctly. Ryan Nugent Hopkins, who's played his entire career in Edmonton.
Yes, I saw this.
Has had 13 head coaches or 10. It's
I think it's 13.
It's one of those two numbers. It's either he's been there 13 years and had 10 or vice versa. I can't remember. But that's too many coaches in one player's career. And McDavid is what, 3 coaches in 4 years now? Like you at some point it's not the coach, and it's the person who's making the roster decisions. And yeah, I think you have to be able to have all your bases covered when you're building contending teams. Look at the Blackhawks of the 2010s. They had guys who could score up front and be dynamic offensive players. They had guys who could do a little bit of everything defensively, either shut down players or offensive producers. They had shut down forwards.
Yep.
And then you had goaltenders that on a nightly basis you could trust. Like, I know it sounds simple, but like it's hard to do to make a roster that way. But when you're in a position to be a contender, you have to make those right decisions, and you can't just, especially if you want to be a team that's going to do stuff in the playoffs, you can't rely on, it worked in the regular season, because it's a different game in the postseason.
Yes,
whether you like it or not.
Gotta be adaptable.
You can't just outscore your problems in the postseason. Teams with hot power plays, more often than not, do not succeed in the postseason because the power plays go away. So, I would much rather be in the Blackhawks position right now where you have a general manager that has a long-term plan and is starting to bring in those pieces, through the draft, through getting young players, draft capital that can put those pieces in place so that in the next 2, 3, 4 years, we're saying you can point at each one of those young guys and say that's the next guy, that's the next guy, that's the next guy. It'll be okay.
Yeah, and I mean your point about you can't be a power play led Stanley Cup winner is so true. Yeah. That's a great point, because like you said, the whistles go away in the postseason. And look, do the Oilers have enough firepower and talent to win a cup? Yes. Like, I picked him to win the cup this year, and no one batted an eye when I did that. I think Greg picked him too.
No, yeah, I mean,
and like a lot of people did, so there's something going on there. But like when you look at, I think like the Florida Panthers are a good example. I know they didn't win the cup last year, but that's the sort of roster that's adaptable. You've got guys that can kind of do anything, and your best player is a dude who can score 50 and finish a check, and like he can do it all. Matthew Tkachuk is just a stud, and you've got Barkov, who is annually the most underrated player in hockey, and even though he wins it every year, you know, it's just it's all about building. And I think as you look at the way Kyle Davidson's laid this out, and as much as I'll raise my hand, like I've been itchy for him to like bring in a little bit of help to make this a little bit easier on Connor Bedard, he has stuck to his guns. And what percentage of GMs would be tempted to just say, oh my God, we got Bedard. This changes everything.
We have Bedard and cap space. Let's use it all right now.
Yes. And I just, look, we don't know if this will ever become another dynasty or even a single-time cup winner, but at least the approach is sound, and that's all I need, right? And we'll see whether it works or not. But just know, like Greg said last year was ground zero of a rebuild, and now this is year one. This is truly year one of the rebuild. So there's a long, long way to go here. All right, we're gonna wrap the show up, but before we do, I want to tell you about our friends at FOCO. Get fitted out in the best sports gear around: hoodies, shoes, signs, bobbleheads, and everything in between. It is not baseball season; it is football season and hockey season. So get your hoodies, get your pajama pants, get your your warm slippers, everything you need to stay warm in these cool
bib overalls
fall months. And it's getting cold, by the way. Thanksgiving Day is going to be a high of 28.
It was 65 today. So.
Yes, winter is coming. And we've got also great stuff. You look around our set, a lot of the stuff right over our shoulders is from FOCO, and we thank them for that. Check out FOCO.com or click the link in our description below. And for all non-presale items, use the code CHGO for 10% off at FOCO.com.
Yes. And if you're looking to take advantage of some Black Friday deals, look no further than right here at ALLCITY.com and the CHGO Locker, because we have our Black Friday sale coming up later this month. It'll run from Black Friday to Cyber Monday. That is November 24th to the 27th. Shirts up to 90% off. Team gear will at least be 20% off. CHGO branded gear is going to be 33% off. Hats and hoodies, $10 off. And if you spend $75 or more, you will receive a $15 gift card. Some restrictions may apply, as sometimes these things do, but there's a ton of stuff to choose from. All great designs, all things that you are going to want to be seen wearing, whether it's the winter, we got hoodies and knit hats, or you want to gear up for the summer, that get looking ahead and be like, all right, I can't wait to bust out my entire collection of CHGO t-shirts. We got all those across the sports landscape. Tons of good stuff. So be sure to take advantage of that sale. Again, it runs from Black Friday to Cyber Monday. And while you're checking out all of our gear, become a diehard and save 20% on merch all the time, not just during special holiday events. And save 20% on events, get access to all of our written content, and just be a really cool person in the CHGO fan community.
Yep, we're building a community here. Be part of it. Become a diehard. A couple other super chats to get to. Paul T says, thanks, boys. Always appreciate you guys. You too, Paul. Thank you. And Cricket says, please tell Grayson happy 3rd birthday. Yeah. Paul T. So happy birthday again to Grayson. A couple other things, too. Apparently the Sox just made a big trade.
Is that big true? Is not the best word.
I don't know.
They did make a trade. They acquired local product, Nicky Lopez, somewhere in Chicago right now. Sean Anderson is jumping up and down in joy.
Okay.
Nicky Lopez.
They traded away Aaron Bummer.
That's a bummer.
I don't have a word for it. Oh, yeah, bummer.
So the Sox trade Aaron Bummer and receive Mike Soroka, former good pitcher.
Mike Soroka? That guy's got to be 65 years old.
Not quite.
Soroka.
Soroka.
Is it Region Revs, brother?
They got Sorokin?
Nope.
Sorokin.
Damn.
Sox get Soroka, Jared Schuster, Nicky Lopez, Raiden Shoemake. I don't know who that is.
He makes shoes.
And Riley Gowans. Also don't know who that is.
Championship. All that for Aaron Bummer?
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised by that.
Is Aaron Bummer that good?
No. He was god-awful last season.
All right, good trade.
Yeah.
I like it.
Despite how Sox fans might have felt after Bummer's rough 2023 season, he was obviously still valued by the baseball world. To get 5 players for a reliever strikes as a lot and probably speaks to how good Bummer actually has been, last year's numbers aside. That's from Vinny Duber. That's
I was like, is that just you?
That's not my. That's not my opinion.
Very intelligent White Sox thoughts.
That is from Vinny Duber.
All right.
So there you go. This has been Talking White Sox.
Another thing too, before we go, I know it's been a long show, but as we talk about being patient through the rebuild and sticking to the plan, go find Matt Peck's rant from last night.
That was something.
About a franchise that just refuses to do anything but sit and be mediocre. And they try to sell you big names. They try to pretend like they're doing stuff, and they don't do shit. They haven't done anything since Jordan left. I don't know what Bulls fans do, and I feel for those guys, Matt and Big Dave and Will, the GOAT Gottlieb, because they know deep down there's no hope.
No.
This is what it's going to be until the owner, one way or another, is no longer the owner.
Yeah.
And it's sad. And look, like, as Hawks fans, we were there with Bill Wirtz. It was like, well, this will be our reality until it's not anymore.
It's hard to pour your heart and soul into something like that. So my hat is chucked across the room for Pack and Big Dave and Will and stuff. And you know, it was great. The rant was so good. And like, it was good. It's you know, it's coming from a very true place.
Yeah.
You know, it's that kind of just frustration that, I mean, it's a common denominator between those two teams, the Bulls and the White Sox. And when you have both fan bases saying to the same person, sell the team, something is wrong. And I wish for them and I wish for their fan bases that there would be some hope.
Speaking of something's wrong, 5-0 Sharks with 5 minutes to go.
Jeez.
In the
I cannot wait to.
How many times has Jordan Binnington peed his pants in this game with his tantrum?
Know.
He came in relief.
Oh, he relieved?
Yeah.
He probably relieved somewhere else.
He filled his diaper. All right, we got to go. It's been too long. It's a late night. We will talk to you Saturday, 12:30 pregame, 1 o'clock puck drop. Hawks and Preds. Let's do it. We'll talk to you then on the CHGO Blackhawks podcast.
I'm trying really hard to end the show, guys. It's just not going. While I'm trying to end the show, I think I might have said Royals. It was the Braves they made the trade with.
Same thing.
With the Braves.
Very similar franchises.
We all silly like the mayor.